Hey everybody, what's up? So, Asian Sleepy made a discussion video for his 2024 discussions vlog, Why Avoid Console Wars and Brand Loyalty. And the reason why I've had such a problem with this is back when I started uh, playing games, there wasn't the internet. And when we got the internet, I never got in game forums. I never really paid attention to them because it wasn't until 2003 that I actually played on a console. I'd mostly been playing like Tiger games. A lot of people don't like those. I found them enjoyable, to a degree. But PC was my big thing. I really couldn't afford a console well, also because I'm a big reader, so I was buying a lot of books. It wasn't until I got onto YouTube that I really started seeing the console war stuff and the way people were acting towards people who didn't enjoy certain consoles. Now, I will be leaving the PC out of this. One of the biggest reasons for that is honestly, PCs can be rather expensive for gaming PCs can be rather expensive. Also, I don't consider them to be consoles because with a console and like a PC, you can't upgrade it as much. So you can't really like boost a lot of things you can with a PC, like graphics and that. A friend of mine said she's played certain games on her computer and the graphics are a lot better. So that's why I'm going to drop this out. One of the things that I think about when I think about brand loyalty is you hear people talking about how they might have only grown up playing like one console, maybe only Nintendo stuff, only PlayStation, only Microsoft Xbox, Xbox Now, but that really can affect it. It gets this what you're used to. Maybe you have a lot of fond memories playing with a parent, playing with friends, trading games, everybody borrows, sitting on a couch co-oping. So those memories can impact what we play and really what we're going to keep. Especially if you only know people who play PlayStation or don't have like a Nintendo or an Xbox, for example, you're not going to have that experience that they have. Maybe end up getting a friend that has an Xbox and you're like, yeah, I hear you talking about it. Do you mind if I play with you a little bit? See what it's like, or can I try it for a little bit? And you might enjoy it. For example, with the Switch, I didn't actually play one until I was at a family member's house. I'm like, do you mind if I try this? He said, yeah. So the first game I actually played on a Switch was Cat Quest, trying out, their game. Didn't mess with it just to see what it was like. And I enjoyed it. It wasn't until, later on when I got to play the Xbox One that I liked it. Same with PlayStation 4. I enjoyed it. But I never considered myself to be one of those people that's into brand loyalty because there's so much to enjoy. When I played a PSP for the first time, I liked it. Vita, the same thing, even though a lot of people don't like it. Game Boy, same thing. Where I went from Game Boy Advance to the DSi to the 2DS. I enjoyed every minute of it with all of them. And really, the problem I have with brand loyalty is if you really think about it for a minute, people may be trolling, they may not be, but the voices that we hear the most, like on forums, videos, stuff like that, really is the loudest voices that drown out everybody else. They push comments down that people might not see that really is someone who enjoys the console, they love it, and they may explain why, but people don't see that because they're not getting that response. Because not everybody's going to scroll through every single comment. And that's a problem. And when we hear the loudest voices, we just assume that that's what everybody is like. We don't get that ability to see other people's viewpoints. It's just like with anything else in life, when we see those, people's opinions are formed on what they hear. And it's kind of sad because maybe your average PlayStation player doesn't, shout and yell about, PlayStation is the only thing, Nintendo is the only thing, Xbox is the only thing you should play. One of my favorite examples is, when somebody tries to get you to eat new food and you're like, no, I don't want that because it looks disgusting or whatever. If you don't try it, how do you know if you like it or not? But like I said, it also could come down to the memories you have of a console. And maybe that's the only reason why you play it. I watch on YouTube a lot of people who play multiple consoles in that. And I really enjoy that because not only is there fresh perspectives, but also you see so many different games that might be available. Gaming magazines I saw kind of were like a little bit on the terrible side, especially I hate to say it, Game Informer, because they talk about a lot of different games, but the problem is, and there was kind of a little bit of a middle in it, that they only push games that the company see that are going to be the biggest sellers. And my favorite article, I've mentioned this in the past, was where Trey Parker and Matt Stone, in an interview with PC Gamer, said they like the games that get the worst reviews. I'm editing that. Um, and it's true. A lot of games that a lot of people see as garbage, you might find as a great game. But ultimately, it's just, I don't think it's worth necessarily arguing a lot over the brand loyalty thing unless you really know that person, you find out the truth behind why they like something. And you can, you might understand and you might go, actually, that's the same reason I like Xbox or Nintendo. Um, there are people that like Nintendo because they're family friendly and they have kids that they want to enjoy that time with. Obviously, they've got more mature games, but a lot of those, might be download only. So you tend not to see the mature games as much in stores. But that's changing. Um, because, you know, but I think the other reason a lot of people are I'm going to say this. I think a lot of people are looking at the older consoles now because they don't want the digital only. They want those fond memories of, going to a shelf, picking up that game, putting it in. And for them, that's where the memories are, having that complete game. So ultimately, maybe they might get pushed away from that system, and be like, maybe it's not as fun as it was anymore. Maybe I just want something different. It's hard to say. Or maybe they still keep playing those older games. Maybe they get a new console because they like, Gears of War, God of War. What else would there be? Maybe a new Halo game comes out, and they're like, I want to get this console. But one of the biggest things that we have to consider really is some people aren't always in a position to buy, the latest console for Xbox or Nintendo, and they wait for a game system to come on sale or, used so they can get it. And that can take a while. And so they keep going with what they know. And maybe they decide I'm not going to get it. It's not worth, the money. I want to keep going. Or maybe they're gifted a console and they go, you know what? This is fun. I'm going to get some games for it and play those. We just have to look at everything to really understand what's going on. I've never believed in this console war stuff because I think it goes back to the loudest voices where people are like, you know what? I don't like you. What do they call them? Sony ponies. I don't know what they call Xbox fans or Nintendo fans. I've only heard Sony pony. So not to, knock anyone who likes Sony only, but that's the way that it is. And it's sad because in the end, really, games are meant for enjoyment only. Obviously there are people that take games really seriously and they, want to argue about it. They want to go into all these discussions, why a game is greater than this game. And that's fine. As long as you do it respectfully, my opinion there at least. You can argue with other people as long as you're not, using racist terms or whatever. But it just has to be done that way. We're not always going to understand something, like I said, until we talk to the person. I have a friend that primarily likes Apple products. I don't like Apple products. I used a Mac when I was younger because my parents bought one. And I played on that till they got a PC. But I don't like Apple because I don't agree with a lot of their stuff. And so that's why I don't like that brand. Yeah, I've only used the Mac years ago, but that, I have an opinion, my opinion is on that. And I know maybe I should give Apple another shot, but in a way, I do have a bias. I'll admit to that. But it's okay, because sometimes we're like that as well. And that's also what creates brand loyalty is that maybe we just like the way a company does things. It's the same with people who get made fun of for liking Ford. You don't know what their situation is. Maybe they think it's a great car and they've never had any problems. It's what they've always driven. So maybe we just need more open dialogue to understand each other and to lose this idea of what's best and what's worst. Ultimately, in the end, it's your decision on what you like. You may argue about with friends about it. You may argue with strangers online about it. But don't listen to those loudest voices because you're going to get worked up more and more about it. And it just might become a different situation where people don't take you seriously. It's hard to say. So I just want to end it here. One thing is, before I go, is actually with Apple. I'm going to take that back. I have a relative who had an Apple iPad, and I tried it out. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I liked. So that was actually the other reason why I don't like their products. It just wasn't for me. I had to go back to that. I'm sorry. But yeah, and if somebody likes multiple consoles, let them enjoy them because it's each their own. In the end, we're just having fun. There's no need to get worked up on what console somebody likes. So that's it, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye.